can be intentional about your character, you can have money and a career.
You are the hero in your story.
Where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. Dr. John Deloney is my co-host today. Ramsey personality, best-selling author of the book Redefining Anxiety. And we're inviting your calls here toll-free and nationwide at 888-825-5225 as we talk about your life and talk about your money. 888-825-5225. So, John posted on Instagram, dared to do this, that people should be nice to each other, and you did that on the day of the inauguration. People should be nice to each other, and apparently it's not okay to say you should be nice to each other.
So, just for everyone listening,
it's the most hate mail he's ever gotten, and so
awesome.
I've really been messing with him all day. So
just
all the conservatives said you're a liberal, and all the liberals said, well, where have you been to protect our rights all along?
That's right. So
you just screwed up. You screwed everybody.
I used
asking them to be nice.
The U word.
Oh, I know. Don't use the U word.
And so I don't watch the news just as a general principle because I care about my mental and social and physical and spiritual health. So I stay away from that. And I communicate with friends.
Which makes you naive as crud.
It evidently does. So I'm walking through the office, and I see the end of the inauguration. I stick my head in and say, oh, yeah, that was today. Like a terrible citizen. I get that. And then I see Karl Rove come out and say, I'm just going to say it. That was a good speech. And I thought, well, America's over, right? And then I thought...
Yeah, Karl Rove says it's a good speech. Biden has a good speech.
Happening?
The second coming of Jesus is on us. Yeah.
Either it's freezing over or, hey, we're all coming together. We're going to come together. And Dave, you know me, I always think everyone's going to come together at the end. Whew, boy. So I'm leaving the office after my show yesterday, and I posted, hey, it's time for everybody to come together. We're going to be unified. We're going to say, I'm sorry. We're going to ask one more question. Like, I don't know what you mean by that. Can you help me? Dave?
No, you were asking people to be nice, and that's illegal.
Hey, just be kind.
I'm surprised that Facebook hasn't completely thrown you off because you asked people to be nice. That's kind of asking people to be nice is hate speech, John.
I have an unread message from Zuckerberg. He emailed me last night. I'll open it when I get the courage. Can we just stop? Can we just stop? People would rather have a terrible day than say, hey, man, tell me what you mean by that. People would rather have a bad marriage for a decade.
The hilarious thing is that you're so politically naive that you have no idea that you just walked down the alley asking to get hit by both sides.
Oh, I told somebody because
it's like a gauntlet you walked into.
People are emailing. I said,
you're so funny.
I just walked through my girlfriend's front yard and stepped in dog poo and tracked it all over her parents' house without even realizing. That's what I did. Had no idea. Hey, get this, Dave. The first person who wrote me said something along the lines of, oh, I see what's going on in China and conspiracy. And I wrote back, and I quote.
No, you didn't. You answered it.
Hey, I thought it was a joke.
God, you've got to stop.
Dave, I wrote, ha, 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 awesome. I thought they were messing with me. Here's the thing. They were not messing with me.
They're really mentally ill.
They were not messing with me.
The Unabomber just sent you a message on Instagram.
Man, listen.
Hey, the good news is that mental illness is everywhere, and so Dave, you got a big job, dude.
I tell you what.
You got almost as big a job as I do getting people out of debt, and Jenny Craig does. The three of us are going to be employed.
The three of us are eternally employable. Forever. And if I'll just shut my mouth, the checks will just deposit themselves.
Be nice. Be nice. Let's be willing to listen to other people's ideas. Oh, God, you're a liberal. I didn't know. I had to go on Instagram to find out John was a liberal. I had no idea.
Oh, man. I did. Can you imagine, Dave?
I just think we need to stir in a little Anthony O'Neill, see if we can make it even more messed up.
No, when Anthony texts you and goes, he just wrote, bro. That's it. That's when I knew I'm probably in trouble. I don't know what I did. Jeez Louise.
Oh. Well, if y'all don't know, John has been a Ramsey personality for a little under a year now, and so he's gotten a few baptisms by fire, and learning that the trolls and the that singular words misused in the wrong timing on social media will get you hate mail by the bushel.
Well, here's the thing, Dave. I
bail mine, man.
I will. Oh,
hey,
yeah.
We don't answer. I answer all letters that come to Dave Ramsey. They
Yeah.
they go to Patty's desk. We answer every one of them except hate mail.
Yeah.
And
Send them to me. I'm going to respond to those.
no. I use them for kindling.
There you go.
I have to have something to light my fires in the winter, and there's a lot of kindling at my house. So,
Man.
yeah, it's.
I'm not going to stop talking about this one thing.
Okay.
If somebody has hurt you in the past, if somebody disagrees with you, all going to war accomplishes, if finding somebody new to hate, Dave, will not solve any of your problems. And if you want to have a conversation, great. Kindness doesn't mean you're going to agree. Kindness doesn't mean we're not going to fight hard. Kind means I'm going to be respectful. I'm going to listen to you. So I'm going to keep encouraging people in your homes, with your kids, in your workplace, in your community, wherever. Just listen first. Just listen. And if you don't understand, ask this next question. I don't understand what you mean by that. Keep coming on that. Fill me in. And man, we often will find we are way, way closer together on so many things, man. So many things.
See, you're making the assumption there that you're dealing with someone who's not mentally ill.
I know. I just have such a high view of people.
You're so kind and sweet.
Hey, Christy Wright texted me last night and she said,
listen, if you're
so
stupid
kind.
and off track, me listening to you ain't going to keep you from being stupid and
You're
off
right.
track, so I'm not going to bother.
Email me. I'll listen to you.
Yeah, John, he's
listen
sweet
to you.
still. He's got
Still.
Check back with him in one more year.
Oh, man. Man.
After you've had a few more emails from the Unabomber, and then we'll see. We're going to blow up the building.
Please don't. I want to tell my kids bye. Man.
Yeah. Well, usually people that are going to blow up the building don't tell you they're going to, so that's a good news, okay?
Who knows,
Good
man?
shape, man. Oh,
For
I
you
love it.
listening, do not use the word unity.
I read that. Don't say we want to be unified.
Don't say kindness. Don't say nice. Just say.
And don't say sorry. Don't say you're sorry.
Don't ever
Never be
apologize.
sorry. Never be sorry.
I can't. Hey, you know what? Those people are gonna cut and paste this, and they're gonna see, and it's gonna be me and Dave going, "Don't say sorry. Don't say sorry."
You know what? It ain't the first time it's happened. Okay.
Jeez Louise.
There's so much video of me on YouTube that has been cut and pasted.
Is it awesome?
It's just, I've said a lot of stuff I never said.
Hey,
It's pretty
James
amazing.
did that to me the other day, and it's fantastic, man.
Yeah, the guys in our booth, they can put together stuff on us, and they do it frequently just to mess with us.
Well, the problem with James is what I said. I actually said, so I can't really hide from that.
there's
Context
that, too.
context is overrated.
If you actually say it, it's another thing. Yeah. Oh well, there we go. Oh,
Be kind, America. Be kind.
Be unified.
Slow down, Dave. Slow
Don't
down.
go too far now.
Slow down. I didn't say that. I just said be kind. We got some crap we got to figure out. Jeez.
Oh, this is the Dave Ramsey Show. What makes our show unique is that we genuinely care about our listeners. We're intentional about choosing the best advertisers to recommend. Blinds.com is no exception. They offer high-quality window treatments at unbelievable prices. And they make it simple to shop blinds, shades, and interior shutters with easy online ordering, free shipping, and a guaranteed perfect fit. Go to Blinds.com and take advantage of this week's special savings. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Ryan is in Columbus, Ohio. Hi, Ryan. Welcome to the Dave Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave and John. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
So my wife and I just paid off our house last October, so we're in baby step 7.
Woo!
And we're trying to figure out, we're trying to figure out what to do with the extra money we're having from not having a mortgage payment.
Way to go, man. Such problems.
Yeah. So my wife's a dentist, and she's currently buying into the practice that she works at.
Mm-hmm.
We were actually able to do this without taking out a loan by her paying her partner each month for equity in the practice.
Mm-hmm.
And then their plan was to do this for 4 years, and then at the end of the 4th year, she would purchase the rest of the practice from him.
Mm-hmm.
So we're currently in the last year of that plan, and we're planning on getting a business loan to pay off the rest of the practice, after this year.
Mm-hmm.
So my question is, with that business loan coming up in the next year, and we have all this extra money from not having a house payment anymore, should we save up that money and take out a smaller loan?
Yep.
Or should we use
no
this year
loan.
to save for retirement?
Or no loan. Yeah. Can you? How much is the loan? How much is the buyout at the end of the year?
It's about $480,000.
That you're going to need more than she's already paid in?
Yes.
Ooh. So it's a serious practice, or you're seriously overpaying.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, I want you to go relook those numbers and just make sure that you're not overpaying for this. Dentists have a reputation for overpaying.
Yeah, we have a accountant that works in buying out dental practices.
Mm-hmm.
He looked at the numbers and he said for our area, for the size of the practice, this was a good price. He actually said we were getting a deal. So
okay, all right, then it must be Mammoth. Okay, okay. So what's your household income?
Combined right now with her paying her partner is about $200,000.
Okay.
But then after she owns the entire practice, she says will probably be $350,000 conservatively.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, what I would like you to do is to save as much as you can possibly save, almost like you're on baby step 2 again.
Okay.
Real intensity, because I really don't want you to have this loan, but it sounds like you're going to. But let's make it as small as you can possibly make it, and then let's pay it off as fast as you possibly can.
Okay.
We've done a lot of work over the years with a lot of dentists in entree leadership and also just in financial coaching. And the amount of debt around being a dentist is it's mind-blowing in general. And in the community that your wife walks in every day, $1 million or $500,000 in debt for the rest of your life is not unusual. It's standard, and you can get sucked into that paradigm, and I'm going to challenge you not to. I'm going to challenge you to get this paid off like it was a credit card, like you were ashamed of this debt. You follow me?
Yep.
Don't normalize it and keep it like it's a dadgum pet. So limit the size of it this year by saving everything you can get your hands on, and then get into attack mode and finish and take out as small loan as you can, then take that loan out. And it sounds to me like you can take that loan out in 12 to 18 months from the time it's going to be a very short period of time. If you guys won't go back and act like now I'm a rich dentist or something.
I did some research back in grad school on the mental health of doctors and physicians and nurses, and one of the worst subgroups was dentists, and I have to wonder...
High rate of suicide.
High. We'll have to wonder if it's this crushing debt that you just carry around that's normed in that community more so than some of these other communities.
Yeah, the Borrowed Future podcast that we did, we interviewed a dentist that had over $1 million in debt.
And student loans, yeah.
Yeah. And the guy was just crying.
Yeah.
He was just crying.
Because you can't clean your teeth. You can't clean your way out of that, right?
Yeah, well, you can, but it's just, I mean.
But it takes one
pandemic. You got to have a certain level of, I mean, you got to have some specialization in the thing, or you got to have some volume or something to get the income up. But it sounds like she's going to be making, out of the 350, I don't know, but I mean, it sounds like she's going to be making
a chunk of money,
$250,000 a year, her part. So, Yeah, let's use that. Let's use everything we can to limit this. And then when you don't have any payments in the world and you're making $350, now you've got the ability to do all kinds of things.
That's right.
And it does change the way you operate a business. It changes the way you view going to work. It changes when you own a practice or you own a business. When you get the debt off of you, the borrower is slave to the lender. It changes the way you stand, the way you walk, the way you carry yourself. Dustin is in Naples, Florida. Hi, Dustin. Welcome to the Dave Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave. How are you?
Great, man. How can we help?
My wife and I are on baby step number 2 with baby number 2 on the way. We currently have an hour commute, and we're wondering if we should sell our house to move closer to work. We both work at the same company.
Yes, but you may be renting.
Yes, that's what we plan to do. We plan to rent until we get out of baby step 2, 3, and save up our down payment.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So how much closer can you move to work?
Oh, we can move maybe 2 minutes away.
Yeah. And so you're going to get 2 hours of your life times 2 parents, 4 hours of parenting returned to you rather than in the car every day.
Absolutely.
I'm doing this.
I'd do it today. Yes.
Yeah, I have an 11-minute commute. And if there's no traffic, less, but that would be illegal. But yeah. So I don't want to spend my life doing that. A lot of people do, and it's normalized. And some people redeem the time with audiobooks and other things. And there's all kinds of ways you can do it if you have a commute. Commute's normal in a lot of large metro areas, but it is a decision that you're making, and you ought to make it intentionally. And if you can change it and get more sections of your life back, I highly recommend you do.
Not to mention, you cut your debt load back. You're going to find yourself with less stress and 4 hours of your life back. Man, that's a big turnaround for your whole home.
Yeah, the level of simply the amount of sleep you're getting will change.
Oh, man. Sleep, the ability to just have conversations with your spouse, ability to be present with your kids, all that's going to change.
Well, they're in the car an hour a day. They got the opportunity for conversation. They're trapped. But, but it's just, that's, if you're in an area, and Naples is an area where you don't have to do a 1 hour commute in order to just have a job and be able to have a place to live, then I always encourage that. Now, for those of you listening out there, that is not to say you move up in house into a more expensive house. Well, the homes in that neighborhood are more expensive. Well, then you maybe can't make that move.
Right. Or save your money.
You need to move a lateral move down and or become a renter.
Right.
For a period of time to get your finances under control. Don't use this as an excuse to go do an increase in debt, an increase in house price purchase. And, John, with personal finance being 80% behavior, 20% head knowledge, the behavior aspects, having you around to talk about this stuff has been it's been helpful, very helpful. But the power of the human mind to rationalize and to do something stupid and figure out a way and twist it in our brain to where it sounds smart.
Yeah. We will find what we are looking for. And if I find a way the math works in my favor, I will champion that. If I find the way I can make this my wife's fault and not mine, I will champion it. If I can find a way to hear what Dave Ramsey just told me, he told me to sell the house and move and buy double the price in town. I heard him.
Yeah.
Right? We'll find a way to lie to ourselves to make that happen. We have a hard time telling ourselels the truth, Dave.
I know a guy drove 2 miles to work, 2 miles. Went and bought a $30,000 pickup because his old pickup that was paid for in the driveway didn't get good gas mileage.
Get a bike.
Didn't get good gas mileage.
Get a bike. Right?
You have to drive that new truck to the moon and back to get enough gas mileage to pay for it.
That's somebody who lied to himself so he could get a new truck.
That's exactly right. That's what I'm talking about. This is the Dave Ramsey Show. Folks, it's an honor to tell you about the Army National Guard. Not only are they big supporters of our high school curriculum, but they also give you the opportunity to impact your local communities. Whether your goals are to get an education, serve your country, or have a better life, the Army National Guard can help get you there. Plus, they offer unbelievable financial benefits. Secure your future today. Visit NationalGuard.com to find out more. In the lobby of Ramsey Solutions on the debt-free stage, Caleb is with us. Hey, Caleb, how are you, man?
I'm excellent. How are you?
Better than I deserve. Welcome. Where do you live?
Fort Worth, Texas.
Oh, good for you. John always connects up with the Texans. It just happens.
You know it, boy.
There we go. So, how much debt have you paid off, brother?
$110,000. Well, I guess $110,695.02 to be exact.
Excellent. How long did this take?
46 months.
Wow. And your range of income?
$60,000 to $72,000.
Cool. What do you do for a living?
High school band director.
All right. Good for you.
Yeah.
What kind of debt was the 111?
A little bit of everything. Undergrad, graduate, interest on those student loans, credit cards, car, French horn, and then a loan from the bank of mom and dad.
Ooh, everybody's in line.
Yeah.
Everybody. You had a long line, too.
It was a long line.
The French horn debtors are fierce, right?
Dude. You don't want to mess with them.
No, they'll break your knees, man.
Don't want to mess with the French horn mafia.
So what happened 46 months ago that lit you up, man?
I was in grad school, already deep in more debt, and one of my friends put on her Facebook that she read this book called Total Money Makeover, and it sparked my interest. I reached out to her, and then I got the book actually in January of 2016, and it was really stressful because I didn't have an income, so I wanted to do all these things, but I had to wait until I had a full income. So for about 6 to 7 months, I was living off of my student loans, like agonizing, waiting for a real job to finish school and get an income to get going on it. So
as soon as you hit the ground after school, you took off.
Yeah, over $2,000 a month. And I did everything in the book to pay it off quickly.
Man, amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That was a big mountain to climb.
Yeah, a lot of vacations that I didn't go on or things that I didn't buy, old truck that I kept way too long.
Yeah, almost 4 years.
Yeah.
And so you're what, in your late 20s? How old are you?
Oh, yeah, we'll go with that. No, I'm 31.
Okay.
31.
Right. Well, close enough. Yeah. And so, yeah, like everybody that's your friends are out doing all kinds of stuff, and you're working to get out of debt.
Yeah, a lot of my friends would go on vacations, or even if I could go on like a wedding trip, I wouldn't do the extra things that they were all out doing. I was just happy to be at the wedding and, pay for the rental tux, but it's like, hey, we're going rafting. I was like I got to say no at some point, guys. I got to pay off my debt eventually, so.
Yeah. Way to go, man.
So band directors are similar to football coaches, right?
Especially in Texas.
You're inspiring young people. You're getting them to think, to understand they're bigger than they have bigger dreams. They can accomplish more than they thought they had. They go past limitations. How has this journey impacted how you impact the high school kids?
This is a metaphor. A lot of my students will kind of laughingly roll their eyes, but this has become a metaphor. And one of my students, when I was teaching in Houston, suggested that I start a YouTube channel. So I would just make little YouTube videos about how to budget, how to think about money. The Future Millionaire Band Director. It's got 800 subscribers, Dave. Watch out.
All right. Good for you, man.
That's
I
triple
like the
man.
title, too.
Yeah.
Yes.
I like the title a lot.
And so that kind of, now I'm doing like a little mini series about getting students ready for college and what kind of questions to ask, how to go to college for free. There are still music scholarships out there, things like that.
We're going to double your subscription today.
Well, let's hope so.
So tell everybody again, what's the YouTube channel? What's it called?
The Future Millionaire Band Director.
All right, everybody go sign up and watch it.
It's got everything. It's got high school band, it's got college advice, and financial advice.
I mean, what more could you want?
Nothing.
That's awesome, man. Way to go. Very cool. So now the impressive part about your numbers, not only the height and the amount, which is huge, that you knocked out, but the fact that you stick with something 46 freaking months. Most people in America can't stick with something 46 seconds.
They can't be married 46 months. How'd you do this, man?
Well, my twin sister always says that I'm super obsessive when I do something. I just jump all in, and this was one of those things that I became obsessive about. When I was living in Houston, my family's from DFW, so I would drive to see them, listen into the podcast, obsessing over my every dollar budget, like where can I like shrink the budget, where can I fix it, and what habit do I need to change? Can I carpool to work? Do I need to move out into a bigger rent house so I can pick up another roommate to lower the rent? It was like every part of the budget got a good look at least once or twice a week to figure out how to, scrape some off.
Yeah. You went truly Gazelle intense. That obsessive idea. This thing, I'm going to do this, and really I'm going to put the blinders on. And you really don't hear the negative voices much when you get that fired up.
Yeah, I was fortunate enough that my family was like, "You're crazy, but go for it."
But you're ours. Yeah.
Yeah.
You are crazy.
And my students were also super supportive. Like anytime I would bring my lunch, I'd be like, look at you, Mr. Shu. Like you're taking care of your finances and all that. It was really cool.
Yeah. Way to go, man. Wow. So someone coming out of grad school with a pile of debt right now, like you did 46 months ago, is listening. What do you tell them the secret to getting out of debt is?
I remember reading one of the chapters of your book, and it was, for me, I had to first understand that debt wasn't a tool. I used to tell my students, like way back in the day, that you had to take out student loans if you wanted to use that as an investment in your future, and because I thought debt was a tool to get you somewhere. And I think that if anybody is going to have to pay off their debt, they're going to have to understand that first and foremost, debt is not a tool. And if they don't understand that concept, they will never get out of the gate even. And I've got a lot of friends who say that they're going to pay off their car or their credit card, but I'm going to keep my student loans for forever. I have friends who have told me that they're just going to be in debt for the rest of their life. So they have to understand, first and foremost, that debt is not a tool. It's an anchor.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a big one. And then you said, you were obsessive, and that's what enabled you to persevere and stick with something almost 4 years. That's so impressive. So impressive. Very cool. I'm so proud of you, man. Well done. Very, very well done. Who were your biggest cheerleaders?
Oh, for sure, my dad was always super supportive. My family was really, really supportive, even if they were making fun of me. My coworkers, who I went to work with every day, we would go out to lunch once a week, and sometimes I would not have budget anymore to go out to lunch, and so I would just bring my lunch to wherever we went out to eat, and they were always super supportive. My students giving me lots of positive vibes. My boyfriend was super supportive of the whole thing, and so now anytime I offer to buy dinner, he's always he's shocked. He's like, "Oh, we're gonna loosen the budget a little bit for that."
Well, well done, sir. Very, very proud of you.
I'm proud of you, man.
Great job.
Thank you.
We got a copy of Chris Hogan's book for you, Everyday Millionaires, and that definitely is the next chapter in your story. So we're excited for you. Well done, well done. Caleb from Fort Worth, Texas, $111,000 paid off in 46 months, making $60,000 to $72,000. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1. I'm debt-free!
Well done, well done, well done. Great job, man. That's a lot of money over a long period of time.
46 months.
And I got to tell you, man, he's right. You do have to become obsessive. That was really good, a really good analysis on his part.
46 months, Dave. People can't. We're at the end of January. 99% of Americans quit their New Year's resolutions already, right?
Yep.
And I just made that stat up, by the way, because it supported what I was trying to say here. But you just keep going.
88% of the statistics are made up on the spot.
That's right. But you just keep going and going and going. What a way to persevere.
I remember the first time I ever actually went in a gym and got a personal trainer many, many years ago.
I would have loved to have been there for that.
Yeah, you wouldn't have either. It was ugly. It was really ugly. And but he's, we couldn't get on the treadmill and stuff because there's too many people, right? We couldn't. The machines were busy. Everything's busy. And it was like right now. It's like second, third week of January, and he goes, "Don't worry about it. Valentine's Day, they'll all be gone.
They'll be gone.
It's the Valentine's Day curse. Right. 45 days, the gym is empty again." People can't stick with it 45 days. 46 months.
Wow.
Caleb stuck with this.
And I liked what he said about it's all of it. It was the personal decision to listen to things and then to practice and then to have accountability and have friends and have students who are watching him to make sure. It was all of that all together, right? It's everything. It's not just one thing or this thing or one big, great New Rodney speech and then you're like, it's all of it over and over and over again.
Yeah, it is a marathon. It is not a sprint. And the good news about someone that's done it like Caleb did is he will never go back.
No, man, it's over.
To stick with it 46 months, you have to be changed inside.
Love it.
not just have a cursory drive-by with the ideas.
And he gave a picture to who knows how many young people. That's what sacrifice looks like. That's what bringing your lunch looks like. That's what that old truck looks like.
Amen.
And they got a new picture of what debt-free living can look like.
This is the Dave Ramsey Show. Thanks for joining us, America. This is the Dave Ramsey Show. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Fred is with us. Fred is in Idaho Falls, Idaho. Hey, Fred, what's up?
Hey, what's your recommendation for long-term care insurance? You usually recommend it at 60. Statistics or, history, you probably wouldn't use it for 20-plus years. Should you invest that premium money into a good growth account and insure yourself insured?
Well, let me pull up my cheat sheet here on your statistics because they're wrong. But I don't have them memorized, so I'm going to flip through my cheat sheet here. 70% of the people over 65 will require some type of long-term care before their death. 7 out of 10 Americans will spend some time in a nursing home at some point. So the numbers that I have seen, and I don't have them on this cheat sheet, but let's see here. Maybe see if I can find anything here. The average age of a claimant is 79, to your point. So 71% of claimants are women. 51% are due to cognitive issues. That was a new one I hadn't seen before. Okay, so the numbers that I've seen, and they're not on this sheet, and so I'm doing this from memory, Fred, are that it's less than 0.5% of the people prior to 60 use nursing homes. And so never buy a long-term care insurance and policy until you're 60. But when I looked at the stats, the reason I came up with that number was, or the reason I came up with that as my guideline for folks, because I do believe in long-term care insurance unless you have $5 million or more in net worth, because you can self-insure then. But that the percentage increased likelihood of use of a nursing home after age 60, the percentage increase, the graph was such a steep curve. Like every minute you're over 60, your chances of going increase dramatically. And so if you have a substantial net worth over 60, like 5 million plus, you'd self-insure. But otherwise, I'm going to tell you to get a policy. But you would be right. The older you get, the higher the likelihood is you're going to use it. And that, my cheat sheet says the average age of someone using it is 79. The other thing that can happen in your 60s, even if you're not using it until your 70s, is you have a higher probability of losing your health just due to getting old, and thereby not qualifying to get a policy.
That's what I was wondering. Is it cheaper to buy in if you buy in at a younger age?
Well, that's why people want people to do it at 40. It's much cheaper to buy at 40 or 50, but your likelihood of using it is so low that it doesn't, the premiums don't offset, so it doesn't work out. So insurance companies are pretty good at math. They do a good job about figuring out that premium is, if you have an insurance premium that's cheap, there's a reason. It's a very low probability of the event happening, whatever the event is, right? And so it doesn't cost much. Well, there's because it ain't going to happen. You know? I mean, that's what you're looking at. So statistically,
I remember clearly the conversation my parents and I had when they told us, I think it was for Christmas. That's what we got for Christmas.
They gave you a long-term care policy.
They got themselves.
I know.
Yes.
And that was giving you a gift.
And it was, it was just this, right? Because me and my brother and sister had talked about it. Hey, what's going to happen if, and we had talked to my dad and my mom about it, and they circled up and said, it's going to, lean on us a little bit budget-wise, but it's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
And it was a gift. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. And 70% of the ladies outlive their husbands.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you're listening out there, married couple, ladies, the typical scenario that's tragic is Papa goes in the nursing home. There's $200,000 in savings. He burns through it, cracks and scrambles the nest egg, and dies.
Yep.
And then Mama's left to live 10 more years with no money.
Right.
Because it all went to the nursing home.
Yeah.
And so that's why you get long-term care insurance policies. It's for you ladies, actually, statistically speaking, anyway. And yet the highest number of claimants is female, but that also would be after their husband predeceases them. 75% of the husbands predecease their wives.
That makes sense, because when I used to visit my grandparents in the nursing home, there's always that guy.
Mm-hmm.
So he must be in the other percent, right? The one guy that just thinks he's 88.
He's Casanova.
That's right.
Too.
He's 88.
Because he's a rare bird, yeah.
He's waving that cane around.
It's like he's attending a girls' college and got in. Yeah, he's got it made.
I just want to say, brother, you are not that handsome.
No, he's just rare. Which is also an advantage if you don't have the other one. John's with us in Louisville, Kentucky. Hey, John, how are you?
Hey, Dave. Thanks so much for taking my call.
Sure.
Okay. I'll just get to the point here real quick. My son needs braces. If we pay the braces up front, we will save $500, okay, out of $4,600. So it'll be able to pay for $4,100. Now, we have $3,700 in savings. We have $4,500 in the bank, so we could pay for that cash. Now, she wants to pay for it to save the $500. I don't want to. I want to pay the $1,000, and then we can make, I think it's $188 payments for 20 months, because my furnace is 17 years old, and my car, it has almost 300,000 miles on it, and I drive 27 miles one way every day. And I just need some wisdom.
Okay. Well, I've been doing the show 28 years. I've never told anybody to borrow money yet. And this is borrowing money. So this is borrowing money.
Yeah, so I got to tell her she's right.
Well, if you want me to blow the whistle and throw the flag, I can. But yeah, but you're right too. I mean, you've got some valid concerns there. So what are some ways we can look at how we get to these other issues, the furnace and the car, because we're taking you dangerously low on cash. And so if we're going to do this for this child now and not wait 6 months, which probably wouldn't be the end of the world if you did. I'm not an expert on dentistry, but I suspect they would probably still be able to straighten their teeth if you wait 6 months, and which might be a plan. And during that 6 months, pile up some more cash to where it gives all of you some more comfort. That's probably what the Ramseys would have done. But if you don't do that, then what we do have to do is we have to put the whole home on beans and rice and beans, as if you had a bunch of credit card debt or something and you were being Gazelle intense, because you've got some known things coming at you. So your analysis of that is correct. I mean, that furnace is going to go out and that car's going to go. There's not any question in your mind or my mind. I just don't know when. Mm-hmm. It's not a matter of if, it's just when. Is it 6 months or is it 18 months? But it's not 8 years.
Well, I never even thought about waiting. I mean, it sounds silly. I never thought about waiting 6 months. He's 11 and a half. He's got all those permanent teeth. I've never thought about waiting 6 months.
Well, I'm sure the doctor is going to tell you that I'm a quack, because when it comes to dentistry, I am. I have no qualifications whatsoever, except I'm a dad that bought a couple of sets of braces over the years. I did do the same exact analysis, and they make it almost sound like you're not borrowing money. It's more like you're renting these braces. But they'll give you a discount for paying the rental up front, like they're going to re-rent them after you give them back. But anyway, I don't know. But it's to me, I looked at it with our two that had braces as debt, and I just prepaid it like your wife is suggesting. But I think that means that we have to look at, there's 3 valid things that need to occur here: furnace, car, braces, and we've got to treat all of them like they're very important, because they are.
And John, I need you didn't ask for this, but I just got to speak it out there. I know the tension I feel when I want to buy something, when I have to buy something, and then my wife says, "Hey, Hank needs shoes," and the temptation is to let him know I'm buying you these shoes at a cost of, right? And so the temptation is going to take that boy.
Buddy, you better appreciate them braces.
I'm driving this truck and what I'm going to ask you to do is don't put that in the heart and soul of your
kid.
11-year-old that he's a burden to his family, that dad can't drive to work, or we can't have heat.
And John didn't say that, and you said he didn't.
I know he didn't. I know he didn't say that.
We're just making sure he doesn't. Yeah.
If everybody out there, man, take care of your kids because that's the right thing to do, and don't make them feel more of a burden than they already do.
Yeah. Amen. Good stuff.
And be kind.
And unified.
And no, Dave, stop with your propaganda. Just kind.
This is the Dave Ramsey Show. Welcome to the Dave Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career.
You are the hero in your story.
Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Dollar Car Rental Studios, it's the Dave Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. I am Dave Ramsey, your host. Thank you for joining us. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. Chad starts off this hour in Provo, Utah. Hi, Chad. Welcome to the Dave Ramsey Show.
Hi, John and Dave. How are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
So my question is, we're fairly new to the baby steps. We've known about them for a long time, but we're currently on baby step number 2. We own a duplex that we used to live in, and if we were to sell that, we would be able to go straight from baby step 2 to baby step 4, 5, and 6. But I do have a few reservations about that, and so I'm just wondering, what would you do in my situation?
We don't recommend folks sell their homes to get out of debt unless they're going to sell them anyway.
We do. We own another home that we live in currently. So we used to live in this duplex. And,
so it's a rental.
It's a rental now. We moved out about 5 years ago and held on to it. The plan was to just keep it and use it as an investment property.
Mm-hmm.
But
okay. And so how much debt do you have?
Let's see, currently about $75,000.
What's your household income?
Household income is around $90,000.
Okay. Well,
about 95 with the income from the property. So 90.
Let's just take a set of scales and put the rental house on one side of the scales and the number of years that it's going to take you to pay off $75,000, making 90, which is 2 years. Okay. No more than that. So do you want to fast forward your get out of debt plan by 2 years badly enough to sell the duplex? There's not really a wrong answer here, because you can get out of debt fast enough. If you want to keep it, you can keep it. But you might want to be out of debt more than you want the duplex, and that would be not a wrong answer too.
Right, and that's kind of what we're looking at. One of the things that we have going on, my wife works as a cosmetologist, a hairdresser, and so she's taken a hit this year here in Utah. She's been able to work, but anytime she is feeling under the weather or a client is feeling under the weather, they basically have to cancel. So income goes down there. Also, we have a daughter that last year was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes, and so we're fully funding our HSA, so that takes some of our money there, and so.
So do you want to do you want to sell the house?
I kind of do. Some of the reservations I have are it'd be nice to be out, move on, be in, those later steps, but possibly, having that physical asset that is kind of a hedge against inflation, and we don't know what all the printing of money is going to do, whether or not there's going to be some major inflation that goes with that.
Okay, so all the things that you know about your life and all the things that you perceive about the future, which of these two avenues gives you the best life and the most wealth 10 years from today?
I don't know. I go back and forth. We've actually gone through the steps.
But that's how you're going to answer. That's how you're going to have to answer the question.
Okay.
Every decision has some pluses and minuses. There are a few decisions that don't have some minuses. And you can make a list of the pros and the cons on keeping the duplex, a list of the pros and cons on selling the duplex and getting out of debt. I think I hear that the reasons that you wanted to own real estate in the first place are the only reasons you're trying to keep it, even though your whole situation has changed. And you stuck with your old reasoning, and you're trying to use that in your current reasoning. And so I think I think you're selling the duplex. But I'm okay, Dave Ramsey's okay with you doing either one. If you want to roll up your sleeves, buckle down, and in the midst of the diabetes, in the midst of the irregular income, in order to hold on to it and fight through the debt and get rid of it in the next 2 years and be on beans and rice for 2 years, there's nothing wrong with doing that. It's not against our plan, So you go do what you want to do.
I'm somebody who would want to sleep at night, and knowing my daughter's clear, the irregular income, we can weather that because I don't owe anybody anything in the world, right? But I think it comes down to a risk tolerance, right?
That's exactly what it is.
And a beans and rice. I find this a lot that, especially people who tend to be more anxious, tend to be more control oriented. Man, you can project into the unknown, mysterious future any number of wild scenarios, man, and they can paralyze you in the present, and you just got to sit down and make some decisions, and once you make it, go for it.
Yeah. I think you're selling it because I think you're going to get more peace that way, and I think you're probably going to end up with more money that way at the end of the day.
And are we going to have hell to pay with all these trillions of dollars? Yep. Right?
Someday.
We are.
Who
right?
knows? I mean, I have a lot of people in my world. I have, when they get to the end of their career, they write the World's Coming to an End book.
Of course.
And I'm not going to write that book. I promised myself long ago. So the world is going to come to an end, but I will not be predicting it. And that includes all of this ridiculous debt that Congress has continued to pile up my entire life, and it's unbelievable. And yes, eventually there's going to be some kind of a reckoning, but
give yourself peace now.
I remember reading the book Bankruptcy 1984. No, 1994. 1994. That was a book that came out.
It's scary to death.
Yeah, I thought it was a scientific, detailed, economic, with proven great economic minds that the hockey stick of debt was going to crash the economy in the year 1994. Probably can't even find a copy of that book now.
No.
You can. There's one on my shelf. I kept it because I wanted to remember not to write that book. I
think it was Nassim Taleb that says everybody's throwing darts backwards and somebody hits and they turn into the hero of the super predictor of the world, right?
Yeah.
Eventually enough people throw a dart backwards, you're going to told you so.
Yeah,
and you can never do it again.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's not a repeatable act.
Right.
So anyway, all that to say, if I woke up in your shoes, what would I do? I love rental property probably more than you do, and I would sell it because I would want the freedom faster. And just because you sell this rental property doesn't mean you can't save up and pay cash for another rental property later in your journey.
With a lot more peace, right?
And later in your journey. And it's not like you're going to lose the ability to ever own hard assets or ever own dirt and bricks and mortar. And, if I were in your shoes, I'd be done with it. But, as a matter of course on the show and giving advice, I don't, if it was a car, I'd sell it in a heartbeat. But it's a rental property, and there's some reasons to continue to fight for it if you want to. This is the Dave Ramsey Show.
We were drawn to Christian Healthcare Ministries because we both had young families and we wanted to have more children. And we had also just started a real estate company and needed to find healthcare coverage that would meet our needs. We were attracted to CHM because of its low monthly costs and the ability to negotiate medical costs down.
Established in 1981 and accredited by the Better Business Bureau, CHM is here to meet the needs of your growing family or small business. Check us out at chministries.org.
We absolutely believe in it.
Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today here on the air. This is the Dave Ramsey Show. Our question today comes from Blinds.com. They have a 100% satisfaction guarantee. Means even if you mismeasure or you pick the wrong color, they'll remake your window blinds for free. You get free samples, free shipping, and with the new promos they run every month, you'll save even more. Use the promo code Ramsey to get the best possible deal.
Today's question comes from Lisa in Kentucky. She writes, "My husband and I are debt-free. The house that we live in was purchased as a gift to us from his parents. The house is completely paid for. However," there's always a however, Dave, "the house is not in our name. I do not feel secure without the house being in our name. We have a great relationship and I trust my in-laws, but I have an issue with this. What should I do?" So my first thought here, Dave, is if somebody buys a house for you and gives it to you, but it's not in your name, it's not your house. Is that a poor way to look at that?
No, it's not.
It seems like they bought a house and letting you live in it.
Yeah, it's not a gift until it's in your name.
There you go. So is it out of line here to have that conversation?
Yeah, I think the way you always have a conversation like that is it's very, very important to put a lot of icing on the cake before you start talking about this, and the icing, a lot of sweetness.
Yep.
And that's gratitude.
Absolutely.
How grateful you are. And I would never want to seem ungrateful. And we're not ungrateful. And we are so thankful and so forth. It does make us uncomfortable that it's not in our name, and we want to know when we're going to get it into our name.
Or we're getting a will done, and we need to make sure all these assets flow in a certain place.
Yeah, that's fine. But bottom line is that this is weird.
Yeah.
I would not give my kids a house and leave it in my name.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just...
Because then it's not their house.
It's not their house, yeah. I mean, so let me give you an example, okay? Her father-in-law is working second shift, and he falls asleep at the wheel, and he goes across the center line, hits somebody, and a kid is killed on the other car.
They're taking that house, too.
Taking that house.
That's right.
Because it's his asset.
Yep.
When they sue him for $500 million, the judgment lien will be on the house that is not hers.
Right.
And that's called an accident.
Right.
That I described.
Yeah, absolutely.
I didn't say the father-in-law did anything wrong.
No.
I didn't call him a drunk. He wasn't drunk driving. I didn't call him anything. I didn't say anything negative about him.
Right.
But it's just, he could have a business go bad and get an IRS lien. And guess what the IRS lien is on? All of his assets.
Right.
And this house is his asset, not hers.
Right.
So, and the other piece of advice I would just give you is you don't talk, let your husband talk. It's his parents. You can sit there with a smile on your face, and the only thing you're allowed to say is how grateful you are.
Right.
I want you to know how grateful we are.
Right.
You're not allowed to make make body language or grimaces or words that are part of this conversation that has at its essence conflict in it, because you're going to get labeled as the cause of it.
You're going to be labeled as the dissension, but in the family.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. The evil, it would have been okay if it was my son, but his wife got involved.
There you go. So they say something along the lines of, well, we will. We're not comfortable doing that now, but we will. In my head, I immediately switch to, this isn't our house. We are living rent-free in my parents' house. We now are saving up for our own place.
Yep.
And
Exactly.
then I'm off to the races there.
Exactly. I'm going to use.
I'm not going to lose sleep over it.
Thanks for the free rent.
There you go.
And I'm going to use that to save up and buy my own house.
I'm not going to throw a fit about it. I'm not going to whine about it. We're going to go buy ourselves a house.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, you said it was a gift.
We're moving on. We're moving on.
We're just going to look. If you're not going to put it in my name, it's not a gift. You got to have that clear logic in your head. So, the other thing about this, Lisa, is that you need to hear loud and clear from John. We're saying you're right.
Absolutely, yes.
You're right. You're not crazy. This has got some weirdness on it. There's something weird here, and I don't know what it is. Or maybe a simple thing that they haven't had good tax planning. That nobody showed them how to do it without getting a gift tax bill. Because if they'll see a good tax planner, they can teach them how to do to transfer an asset that size as a gift without having any gift tax under the Unified Estate Gift Tax Credit. And it's one piece of paper with their filing of their taxes this year. And unless they have an estate over $20 million, it won't affect their estate taxes a dime. So there's lots of ways to do this. They may just not know how to do it. And there's, but if that's the only reason, but I'm going to guess and say that's not the reason.
I know something about this feels icky, Dave.
Yep. But it is the daughter, and it is the daughter-in-law asking.
Right.
Isn't it interesting that the son didn't ask the question?
He's the guy I want to talk to in this.
Yeah. He's the one. Because he's the one going to have to do the talking.
Right. That's right.
If this is handled properly, he needs to deal with his mama, not his wife dealing with his mama.
Yes.
Because I can just tell you, this is how this is going to go down. Do you feel like paying off your debt is going to take forever? Well, it's a new year, and paying off your debt won't take forever. We can show you how. We do it all the time. It's what we do here. Ramsey Plus is where you get out of debt faster. You'll become debt-free. You'll be spending money without worry. You're going to be building wealth. You're going to be outrageously generous, and we're going to show you how to do all of it. There are 3 apps that work together to help you pay off your debt as fast as possible. Of course, that includes Financial Peace University. Of course, that includes the Baby Steps Tracker. Of course, that includes Every Dollar Premium. Of course, it includes a whole bunch of other stuff. We're going to show you step by step, day by day, what to do for the first 90 days. And you get a free trial at Ramsey Plus by texting TRIAL to 33789. Trial to 33789. Jackson is in Oklahoma City. Hey, Jackson, what's up?
Hi there. How's it going?
Better than I deserve. How can I help?
So I'm going to be moving to Florida in 2 days. I currently live in Oklahoma. I'm going to be doing work for my girlfriend's parents. They own a roofing company down in Florida. And I'm estimating to make between $5,000 and $9,000 a month. It's a sales job, so it's kind of a rough average. I have about $5,000 currently in savings, and then so estimating I'll come back roughly with $20,000 after the 3 months. That would give me $25,000 to put down. I was thinking about putting down on a duplex, and then renting out the other side to get some income to pay for that mortgage. Do you think I should hold on and still work a little bit more and save some more money, or whenever I come back, based on that number, purchase a duplex?
Yeah, I would just wait. I appreciate the idea that you're trying to create some assets and trying to create, a baseline here to start to grow your wealth. But number one, I want you out of debt. Do you have any debt?
I have a car loan.
Yeah, you need to pay that off first.
About $3,000 left on that. I can go ahead and pay it off.
Good.
So you think I should do that now?
Well, or as soon as you make the move, one of the two. As soon as you get your first check in. Let's get that cleared up.
Okay.
And then you need an emergency fund of 3 to 6 months of expenses. And then if you buy a duplex and 18 months later are married to this girl, you're going to sell the duplex and buy a house that she wants to live in because she's not going to live there. And so instead, I would just short circuit that and let's wait and pile up the cash for after the marriage to buy a house.
Okay. And then I also have about $8,000 in a mutual fund and then $4,000 in just like a Robinhood account that I've been investing in.
Okay, good. Then go ahead and pay the car off today.
Okay. Yeah, and then whenever I go to purchase a house, do you think I should liquidate that and then use that as a down payment, or go ahead and keep those in there?
Yeah, you have your emergency fund of 3 to 6 months of expenses in a simple savings account just for rainy days. And then everything else is going down on this house because the goal is to pay the house off as fast as possible after you buy it.
Okay. Well, the main reason I was thinking about duplex is I wanted to hold on to it and then use it as a rental property down the road. But you think I should go ahead and skip that and just purchase a home?
Yep. I want you to get some rental property later, but I don't want debt on the rental property. And I don't want you learning to be a landlord while you're learning a new job and while you're dating the boss's daughter.
Yeah, I don't want you counting any future dollars that you are earning from the father of your girlfriend that just, man, you're setting yourself up for triple heartbreak, brother.
Yeah, there's just so many things can go wrong here. And when they go wrong, they're all going to go wrong at once.
He just slipped off the roof, officer. Yeah. I don't know what happened. So, yeah, brother.
Oops.
Yeah, let's count those checks after they're in your hand, man.
Yeah. Good. It sounds fun. Sounds like you got an adventure ahead of you.
Oh, that's the most passive-aggressive thing I heard you say today, Dave. That's an adventure.
Yeah.
I would tell you you're crazy, which you are.
It's going to work out.
It's going to be awesome. It will be good.
It's going to be awesome. This is the Dave Ramsey Show. Folks, it's an honor to tell you about the Army National Guard. Not only are they big supporters of our high school curriculum, but they also give you the opportunity to impact your local communities. Whether your goals are to get an education, serve your country, or have a better life, the Army National Guard can help get you there. Plus, they offer unbelievable financial benefits. Secure your future today. Visit nationalguard.com to find out more. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. This is the Dave Ramsey Show. Thank you for joining us. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Rob is with us. Rob's in Atlanta, Georgia. Hey, Rob, how are you?
Hey, Dave, Dr. D, how are you guys doing?
Great, man. How can we help?
I am on baby step 7. Praise God for that. Me and my wife, I've always been the nerd. She's always been the free spirit. We are on baby step 7, by the way. Thank you, John. But I've always found that we've led Financial Peace University probably close to a dozen times. But I just recently found some credit cards that she had that I didn't know about. Nothing's on them necessarily. I've always kind of had to drag her to the meetings and stuff like that. And I know oftentimes the answer for this is go to counseling. We've been to counseling. We've been married 26 years and been to counseling many times. And her ultimate response to all of it is, you are who you are, I am who I am, and I don't see the point of going any further much. So I'm kind of since we're on baby step 7, she has a job as well that she does that we don't incorporate into the regular budget. She does kind of her own self-care, like hair and nails and stuff like that. Just never been completely on the same page, but would have great success ultimately. So just need some guidance. Looking for some guidance from you guys.
Yeah, brother, this isn't a baby step question. This is y'all are on 2 different pages, man. And this, I can't imagine this isn't showing up in other places in your relationship besides just financially. Where else does this show up?
Well, I mean, we are on the same page in so many ways, spiritually, parenting, sexually, things like that. So
it's just money. She says, you be you and I'll be me. I'll keep my paycheck. You pay for the rest of the house. I'll take care of me. I'm going to hide stuff and be deceptive, even though I know you're out leading classes on how people can live whole, connected lives. Everything else is just above board and all good.
Yeah, we have a very healthy marriage.
So here's what I'm telling you.
Outside of this,
you don't. It's not as healthy as you think it is.
Mm.
And I mean, if I'm the first guy to tell you that, I'm ashamed of the counselors y'all have worked with. Ashamed of your your community that surrounds you guys, but there's some deeper rooted issues here, because this is something that means a lot to you, that you've put on the block, that you've gone up and presented yourself in a certain way to your community members, to your church, to your friends, to your family, and she's gone behind your back and been deceptive. That tells me there's deeper cracks in this thing.
Or just straight up bowed up her back and said, screw you, I'm going to do whatever I want to do. I mean, that's the message you got. It's the message I heard.
Right. Yeah.
I'm a grown-up. I have the right to do whatever I want to do. And, the fact that is contrary to everything you believe doesn't matter. I'm going to do whatever I want. And it's not about whether you have a credit card or not. It's about the disconnection.
Yeah, this is about the marriage.
I mean, if you're not on the same page, and there's a level of disrespect here if you were doing this to her, it'd be the same thing. I mean, and so I don't know, John. I mean, he said, more counseling, but I don't think more counseling is going to do any good. So I don't know. What do you do?
To me, you sit down and she's not being fully known, and he's not being fully known. They're not being fully honest with one another. And the temptation here is he's trying to measure the success of his marriage by the size of his bank account, and that's not how that works, man. You can have a remarkable marriage without 7 figures in the bank, and you can have a train wreck of a marriage, or marriage number 6 or 7 or 8 with 7 figures in the bank. And at some point, you have to sit down and say, I'm going to have to put all the cards on the table. I'm heartbroken over this, and I need to know what else is there. Because I've never, this will be the first time I've ever heard of everything firing on all cylinders in a relationship, and somebody saying, but I'm going to lie to you and deceive you and not do this thing over here, but everywhere else it's okay. That's just not how that works, man. So there's something there.
That people aren't incongruent in one area and congruent in other areas.
Not that sharply, right?
Yeah.
And so there's something else here. You're right. If she says I'm not going to counseling, what you may want to do is go on your own.
Yeah.
And say, I need to work on myself, because that's all you can control in this moment. You can't fix her. You can't solve her. You can't help her. She's going to have to want to be plugged in and included in here too.
And a good counselor can coach you on how to interact.
Right.
Differently than you ever have before, maybe.
Yeah.
It creates a different result.
And without talking to her, there may be things that, that Rob, you're bringing to the table that make you not a safe place for her to come home to, that make her have to hide stuff because you're somebody that flies off the handle. You are fill in the blank. And so I don't want to dump all this on her, but what I'm telling you is, man, it would be the first of my experience that you guys are just humming along, except for this one place where she lies to you and is just completely dismisses you.
Obstinate.
Yeah.
Obstinate. Yeah. Yeah. That's strange.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for the call.
Yeah, it's hard.
I wish I could be more help. But the recommendation, you were right, Rob, is more counseling. That you get a different one, and someone that's a little more bold, and that calls you out on your stuff, and also trains you up on how to interact with her to draw her back into the conversation again. Because couples who look at each other and say, "Yeah, you do you, I'll do me." This is not a couple. This is a roommate.
Right. Yeah, it's a business partner. And y'all have done well as a business community. Way to go, man. You made some money.
Yeah. Sage is with us. Sage is in Tallahassee, Florida. Hi, Sage. How are you?
Hi, how are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
Okay. My husband's job is ending probably in about 4 months. And we have about $58,000 in cash and about $180,000 in our 401k and about $20,000 in stock. We are completely out of debt except for our home. We have paid $100,000 of it off this last year, so I'm down to the $167,000. My question is, he's 63, so since he's losing his job, we're wondering if it would be smart to take our 401k and pay our house off or keep it.
If you had more money, I would, but it's going to drain you down to almost nothing. Because by the time you're going to have to pay the taxes on that 401k, and by the time you do that, I mean, he's over 59 and a half, so he doesn't have any penalty, but you'll have taxes on it. So if you told me it's $600,000 in there, I'd say, yeah, I'll do it. Pay the taxes on that much and pay off the house today. But you're going to end up with no nest egg. and a paid-for house.
Well, I have a rental house that's completely paid for that my elderly parents live in. And so I do have rent from that once they are, no longer with us. That house right now is worth about probably $350,000.
Okay, so that gives you a little nest egg. That's helpful. But still, how old are they?
They're in their late 80s.
Okay. Well,
and not in the best of health.
Yeah, I don't want to set up a scenario by paying off the house with your only cash money that you've got, not counting this piece of real estate, that puts you in a position that your parents have to die for you to be okay money-wise. That ultimately is going to happen. We all know that, but I don't want you to I don't want to be financially wishing for their death, so that we can get some money because we're broke, except for this house that they're living in. So I don't want to do that. No, I'm not paying off the house today. You don't have enough cash to do that and be in a safe place. And your husband's career is not over.
He needs to go to work.
He's going to have to go back to work. Yeah, it's not done. This is not time to you're not in a position to retire.
And I've got two parents that found new careers in their early 60s, making more money than they did before, doing something similar or totally different, depending on which one of my parents is possible. But you're going to have to suck up your ego and your pride, and you're going to have to go do it.
There you go. This is the Dave Ramsey Show. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. You can join us at 888-825-5225. When it comes to making big money or life changes like buying a home, getting married, having a baby, the last thing on your mind is making sure you have the right insurance. But maybe it shouldn't be the last thing. Hey, I get it. Big changes are overwhelming. What if not if not having the time or the energy is what's keeping you from getting the right insurance coverage, you can use one of our endorsed local providers for insurance. They are independent agents. That means they don't work for the insurance company. They work for you, and they shop all the different companies and get the best coverage at the best price, and they don't charge you anything for that. That's right. An independent agent gets you a deal. It's the only way I buy insurance. So I don't buy from a captive agent who has one company that they sell for, and of course they're going to tell you that State Farm is the best when it's not. So there you go. I just said that out loud, didn't I? All you have to do is text insurance to 33789. That's 33789, and get connected with an ELP. That's insurance to 33789. All right, let's go to Rob in Portland, Maine. Hey, Rob, welcome to the Dave Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave. Hi, John. How are you?
Better than we deserve. What's up?
Hey, I'm at a big crossroad in my life. I am going to be 47 years old next month. I am also going to be at the 25th year of my career as a police officer and eligible for retirement with a 50% pension.
Wow.
My question to you is, I'm looking at making a dramatic change in moving from Maine to Middle Tennessee to the Metro Nashville area with my family, my wife, a 16-year-old, and a 12-year-old. And I'm not sure if I'm making the right decision or not by making that move. My pension will be approximately $50,000 that I'll have. My wife salary is $60,000, and we're fortunate enough that she's able to work from home, so she's going to be able to keep her job. And I am looking at starting all over in law enforcement down there. So my pay hourly will almost be cut in half by starting all over from what I make now. So I'm just looking for some guidance, if that's the right thing to do, or if I stay where I'm at, I get 2% towards my pension for every year I stay.
Why do you want to move, man?
That's what I'm looking at. Well, we found Middle Tennessee because our oldest boy was stationed at Fort Campbell, and we visited him quite a bit. He ended up marrying a young lady from there, from Hendersonville, and we spent a lot of time there and liked the school districts that we saw, and felt that might be a good change for us.
Does it get you excited to think about moving?
It does get me excited to think about moving. What I get less excited about is starting all over in a career that I've spent 25 years in.
There's nothing financially wrong with what you're proposing. Obviously, you're going to have plenty of income, and you won't have any issue living. Portland, Maine, I've been there many times. I love it. It's a wonderful town. Obviously, I'm a fan of Tennessee. I live in Middle Tennessee and have my whole life. And so, it's not like you're downgrading your lifestyle or standard of living or quality of life, or tremendously upgrading it, because Portland's a quality town. It's not a dump.
Yep.
It's not a dump. It's a good place. And obviously we're a little warmer weather here. Politics are a lot different than they are in Maine. But
that's another reason to head south.
Yeah, as long as you leave the politics up there, you're welcome.
I agree.
Hey, so Rob, I did this recently. After my family, we packed up and moved across the country, and there's something I repeat often is the best part about moving is you have a new adventure. You gotta find new parts of yourself. You get to learn new things, and I relish that part. I like that challenge. The worst part about moving is that you go with you. My marriage problem stayed the same. My insecurity stayed the same. My waistline didn't suddenly fall off. Like, all that stuff stayed the same. And so when I got to Tennessee, I had to work on those things that I was having to work on in Texas too. And so whatever challenges you and your wife have, or blessings that you have, all that comes with you, right? And
the common denominator in the story is you guys.
That's right. So if you're up for an adventure, you're up for an adventure, man. And if you're not, you're not. But I always say go for it, but that's just me.
Well, there's a tremendous amount of refugees moving into Tennessee.
Yes, they are. I saw a great bumper sticker today. It was from a doctor who just relocated from California to Texas, and it had a sticker, state of Texas, and it said, "Do not California our state." And it was just as blunt as it could be. So, yeah.
Leave it there. Amen. Well, hey, all that aside, you've got the money. It sounds like the other thing is, other than the fact that your job is going to be different forever, everything else could be undone.
Right.
You could move here and 3 years from now move back. You would not be able to move back into your role at your old job, but so what? And so if you hate it, end the adventure.
That's exactly
Move
right.
back. It doesn't have to be permanent.
And theoretically, your pension stays put, your wife's job, she can work from home. So you guys have a lot of options. You have a soft cushion to fall on if this thing goes sideways.
Yeah, and there's no requirement that you take that type of law enforcement job and start over at a beat cops rate.
I've actually, my old man had several compadres that would be in this very same situation. They would work all the way up till their late 40s when their first kid was about to go to college. They'd pull their pension and retire, and then they'd go make $35,000 as a college campus police officer, and all their kids go free.
Oh, that's not a bad
idea. And so they
idea.
get their pension plus a small salary
and
plus
free tuition.
All their kids go to college for free.
That's not a bad gig.
That's a smooth move, right?
Not a bad gig at all. You pick the right college, you'll be the chief of police in that college.
Well, then you work it through. So you've got all kinds of options, right? It's just thinking of it's getting your head around the adventure, and I love the adventure part.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm up for that part. Yeah. Hey, good question. Thank you for calling in. Blessy is with us in Detroit, Michigan. Hey, Blessy, what's up?
Hey, Dave, how are you?
Great. How can I help?
So I am 22 years old right now, and I just graduated last year in May. And coming out of college, I landed a full-time job by God's grace. And
wonderful.
So I saved up a pretty penny in my bank account right now, about $31K. And I'm kind of wondering, in this sort of stage in life, a lot of people have been telling me that I should start investing that money because it's just sitting in the bank. However, I don't know what's the safest.
How much money do you have saved?
I have about $31,000.
Okay, good. Well, we suggest you're 100% debt free, right?
Correct, I am.
Good for you. We suggest that you have an emergency fund of 3 to 6 months of expenses, and I would set that aside. In your situation, I'd go ahead and set 6 months aside because you've done really well and you've done a great job saving money. And that's in a separate savings account, never to be touched except for emergencies. That's your rainy day fund. Only if something really bad happens do you touch it. Okay? It's not a I want to buy a couch fund or go on vacation fund. Then the other money you can save past that, you can begin to invest. And we suggest at that point what we call baby step 4, where you start putting 15% of your income into retirement, and then in and around that as well, you can start saving for your first house. And so I would not save any more than 15% to retirement of your income. And anything above that, you would, if you want to save more, you would save it towards the house. But I'm saying I would not invest it in a retirement account, a Roth IRA, a 401k that's a Roth with a match, in good mutual funds, all of that. And so hang on, I'm going to send you a copy of the book, The Total Money Makeover, to show you exactly how to do that. It's the step-by-step plan that we recommend, and it's a #1 bestseller for many, many years in a row. Hang on, we'll help you with that. This is the Dave Ramsey Show. Welcome to the Dave Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career.
You are the hero in your story.
Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Dollar Car Rental Studios, it's the Dave Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. You jump in. We'll talk about your life and your money. Dr. John Deloney is here, Ramsey personality, to answer your questions about your life, and I'll help you with your money, and we'll both interfere with each other. It's what we do. The phone number is 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. Mike's in Sarasota, Florida. Hey, Mike, how are you?
Hey, gentlemen, how are you?
Better than I deserve, sir. How can we help?
Hey, first off, Dave, I just want to say thank you very much. Just over the last 7 years or so, you've given me so much motivation just to kind of handle our personal finances and change our family. That it took about 4 years of convincing, but I was able to convince my high school that I work at to start up a personal finance class, and we just finished up our first semester. And I've never had more fun as a teacher teaching the subject, and we're helping a lot of kids along the way. So I just wanted to say thank you before I get into the question.
Well, thank you, sir. Thank you for doing that. That's amazing. Mm-hmm. Good for you.
Yeah,
we appreciate you. We appreciate you, man. Proud of you.
Yeah, thank you. So the question I have is actually in regards to my mom. She's going to be 70 in February, and my dad passed away when I was 18, and so I've kind of been looking over her finances since I've got a little bit of an understanding of things since then. She's got about $180,000 sitting in an annuity that is kind of a concerning product because, just to give you an idea, since 2015, it's only gotten about a 2% rate of return. And I've been working with the SmartVestor Pro to kind of figure out a better plan. But she's got about $60,000 left on the mortgage, and we're kind of just trying to figure out if it's a wise decision to pay off the mortgage. She's taking out a monthly withdrawal of about $1,000 from that $180,000. And obviously, if that continues on, we're kind of worried that it's going to kind of diminish at some point in time. She's fully disabled and not working. And so she relies on this income that she gets from the annuity and that she had from my dad's life insurance. And then, of course, her Social Security on top of that. And so we're just kind of trying to think and see if it's a smart decision to take that chunk of $60,000 out of the annuity.
Well, we've got to get the annuity working harder. If it were making 10%, that would be $18,000 a year, which would be $1,500 a month, and it wouldn't be self-destructing anymore, pulling $1,000 a month off.
Okay.
So yeah, you got to get this money. You got to get this money moved into something that's not 2%. You're getting killed.
Right.
The thing is, it's disintegrating. You're destroying it. The goose is laying the golden eggs. And so, if that's part of the equation, then how much is the house payment?
It's about $1,200. So I mean, most of
so when you pay off the house, she wouldn't need $1,000 a month.
Correct.
Yeah, let's do both.
Okay.
Let's get the income up on the. Let's get the annuity invested better, because now it's only $120,000.
Okay.
And let's get it invested better, and then let's not touch it, because you don't have a house payment anymore.
Does any of that change by any stretch if she's paid a pretty exorbitant fee when she first invested in this annuity for a living rider? So if it does go down to zero, she still gets roughly about $1,000 till she dies. Does that change the perception of it at all?
No, it's because it sucks. It's got a horrible rate of return.
Yeah, it's been terrible.
Yeah, and that's the problem. So you've got to get it. I mean, SmartVestor Pro may roll you into a variable annuity, which is mutual funds inside of an annuity that'll pay a lot better than she's getting paid. But this particular product that she's in is horrible.
Right.
And so she's got to get it. You got to get it invested better. But the bottom line is, even if it's not, it's a 1-2 punch. Even if it's not invested better, if she doesn't need the $1,000 anymore because she doesn't have a $1,200 house payment anymore, then we can leave alone whatever it is that you do with it, right?
Sure.
So
right.
let's pay off the house for sure. But then the second part of it is, let's get this money invested a little bit better. And that'll help you. Hey, thanks for the call. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Hannah is in Montgomery, Alabama. Hi, Hannah. Welcome to the Dave Ramsey Show.
Hey, Mr. Ramsey. Thank you so much for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
I'm a social worker in the Montgomery area at a nonprofit, and I make about $30,000 a year. I'll be debt-free in February, and plan on having my emergency fund by the beginning of August, fully funded. And then after that, I plan on moving out of my parents' home.
Good for you.
And so my struggle is at that August point is when I'll start investing 15%, and I don't know how to save above that. That's kind of my question with balancing rent and other expenses that come with that I haven't had to pay yet with this $30,000 income. And I can't really get a second job just because I'm on call most of the time. So my hours would be, uncertain. So just trying to get your thoughts on that.
Well, you could do a second job. You couldn't do the typical second job. I mean, your second job could be something that you do from home on your own time, a small business idea that you could set the computer aside and go if you got a call. You do need to do something to increase your income on the short term, and on the long term, we've got to work on your career.
Yeah, what type of social worker are you?
In foster care. Okay. So if I do go back to get my master's, my job actually will pay for it. Okay. And so it's a 1-year program, so I think it would be worth it, but I just, I don't think I'm ready yet. I'm planning on starting that maybe January 2020. 2022.
I'm in. I think that's a great plan. But and then develop a career path that triples your income.
Yeah, you just listening to how you have planned out your exit from your parents, the way you're executing it, the way you have a mind that is worth more than $30,000.
There we go.
You have a work ethic worth more than $30,000. And so I think, man, if you want to trade a season, a 1 year of less than you are worth because you are getting a significant return, which is a graduate degree in social work, that's gold. That's a great gift. Then
that's not a bad trade.
That's a great trade.
But at 30 years old, I don't want you sitting there making 30.
Absolutely not.
And I don't even want you making 45 or 55.
No, not with a graduate degree in social work.
Yeah, and a lot of people do.
Yep.
With that degree field.
That's right.
They take the state job and it doesn't pay anything.
That's right. And they will take every shred of your soul in that work because that's hard, gut-wrenching,
emotional work,
challenging.
Yeah. So the answer to your question is yes, let's do some things to get your income up. Your plan to leave in August is great. Your plan for the Masters in January is even better. I love every bit of it.
And is it okay to take a year?
If you don't invest your 15% and instead you pile up a little extra cash right now because things are close, that's okay. You'll get around to starting your 15% into your investments pretty soon. You're still young. You got plenty of time. The great news is you're thinking about this, which puts you way ahead of most people because most people don't even think. This is the Dave Ramsey Show.
Healthcare has gotten to be ridiculous. It puts people, on the brink. And so it would have put us on the brink had we not had CHM. CHM saved our life, saved our financial lives.
Christian Healthcare Ministries, or CHM, is not health insurance, but it is a budget-friendly option and the original health cost-sharing ministry for Christians. Learn more today and check us out at chministries.org. That's chministries.org.
Thank you for joining us, America. Ramsey personality, Dr. John Deloney, is my co-host today as we talk about your life and your money. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Rebecca's in Orlando, Florida. Hi, Rebecca. Welcome to the Dave Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave. Thanks so much for taking my call. I'm very grateful.
Sure. How can we help?
I have the Florida prepaid program for both of my children, and my son doesn't think he's going to go to college. It's not the 529. I have a large IRS debt I'm trying to eradicate. And I was thinking of taking the money from the Florida prepaid plan to put it towards the IRS debt. And then when my daughter's ready for college, I could just cash flow her.
How much is in the prepaid plan?
$23,000.
And how much is the IRS debt?
$55,000.
What is the IRS debt from?
It's from 3 years. I'm embarrassed to say my daughter was sick, and I was in the middle of a divorce. And I was just trying to keep food on the table, and I hadn't filed for a few.
Okay, so it's just back taxes.
Just back taxes.
You hadn't filed at all, and you must be.
I had since filed.
So you must be 1099 or self-employed.
Self-employed, yes.
Yeah. Okay. So what do you make?
Well, this year with the pandemic, I'll probably make about 55, maybe 60.
So you've got the IRS on a payment plan.
No, I actually applied for an offer in compromise, but I haven't heard from them yet. It's been a very slow.
You're going to be denied.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You have to be able to show pauper status, absolutely no income and no assets to get an OIC through. That's one of the great mythologies. How much did you pay for this OIC application?
I put it down $6,000.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Okay. Don't give me more money.
Okay.
Yeah. That's there's just I've been doing this 30 years. I've seen 2 of those go through. 2. And in both cases, we were working with a tax attorney, and you prove that they have no assets at all and no income and really no potential of income. And so they really believe that you're virtually financially dead, and you're not. You make $55,000 a year, so they're going to put you on a 900-year payment plan. All right. I don't cash out kids' college funds for debts, but the KGB around your neck, the IRS after you, is not going away. So, yeah, I'm doing this.
Okay. All right.
But be forewarned that what goes with it, the tears that you had a minute ago, with the shame of not having filed because of all the stress and the horrible things you were going through, you're probably going to have more of that feeling because you just use your kids' college fund to clean up the mess, or part of the mess. And so that's why I almost never tell someone to use a college fund, even though it might make mathematical sense, is because you feel like a dog using your kids' money that you set aside for them. And I just want to warn you ahead of time, you're going to have that feeling, but it is still the logical thing to do. It's the right thing to do here. It is the best thing for your kids, for their mom to get straightened up and get this debt out of her life, because the IRS has tremendously expensive penalties, interest, and they have almost unlimited power to screw up your life. You want to get them out of your life. Believe me.
Yeah.
It's the only kind of debt that terrifies me for our clients. It terrifies me because I've seen what the KGB does to people, and when they decide they want to get rough. And so I just don't want you on that thing, and I want you to get with one of our tax ELPs and get an installment plan working as soon as you hear that the OIC went sideways. And certainly don't see, you listed on the OIC that this college money exists, right?
No, because there's technically no cash value, and I didn't even think about it until after I submitted it.
Oh, there's technically cash value. When you cash it out, you're getting cash.
Yeah, I guess I didn't. Yeah, I they asked for
because if they saw that on the
I didn't think about
application,
that.
they would have grabbed it. They would have said, no, you're not. You're going to give us that money. So if I'm wrong, I'll be happy for you. And the OIC comes through and they say, we'll settle this $55,000 debt for $23,000. Cash it out and do it. But then you've got to really get in gear, and you got to start working with your son and your daughter on how they're going to get their education paid for. They're going to get really good at taking the ACT tests. They're going to get really good at working their butts off while they're in school. You're going to pick an affordable school, not an expensive, famous school, in-state, maybe a 2-year program to get some of the basics out of the way really cheap, all of those kinds of things.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And I'm going to recommend you be real vulnerable, sit down at the kitchen table, and walk your kids through what's happened, what we're going to do about it.
Without blaming Dad.
We're not going to blame anybody. You're going to take ownership for this. This is a level of vulnerability that they're going to feel this tension on you. And what kids do, Dave, is they absorb that tension and blame themselves, especially young kids and especially teenagers. So this is a great moment for an adult to model, hey, guys, here's what I did to put food on the table. Wasn't right. Here's what I'm doing to clean it up. Here's what we're all going to do together. We're all going to start budgeting. We're all going to lean into this stuff. And is it going to be uncomfortable? Oh, my gosh. There's going to be some value to your kids seeing the tears and seeing the plan and watching you live out of this thing. And there is a way to make meaning on the back end of this thing. But those tears will have value.
It is not a conversation that you portray the end of the world.
No.
It's a conversation that goes,
I screwed up, and here's what I'm doing.
And and there's a redemption.
We're going to make meaning of this, and things are going to change around here. And we're all going to do this at the table together.
And the good news is things are going to change. The bad news is things are going to change.
That's right.
Yeah.
And so the vulnerability is going to be hard. The tears are going to be real, and the walking out of this is going to be tough. You still got to come up with $25,000 other dollars, right?
Yeah.
To pay this thing off.
And pandemic or otherwise, you got to get your income up, and you got to get this thing knocked out fast.
Yep.
As fast as you possibly can. Hang on, I'm going to send you a copy of Anthony O'Neill's book, Debt-Free Degree, and that'll help the kiddos start to think that way, and you start to think that way, because you're going to be cash flowing this, A, B, they are too.
You're going to be playing along, that's right.
And C, we got $25,000 more to clean up with the IRS if I'm wrong. And I wish I was, but I'm not. Hang on. Zach will pick up and take care of you. Open phones at 888-825-5225. You jump in. We'll talk about your life and your money. Christina says, since student loans are interest-free right now, should I stop paying the minimum on all 9 of my loans and focus all my money at my lowest loan in an effort to snowball? Well, Christina, student loans are student loans, and whether they're interest-free or not, we're going to treat them the same. We're going to list debts smallest to largest. We're going to pay minimum payments on everything but the smallest debt, regardless of what it is, and we're going to attack it with a vengeance. And when it's gone, we're going to get the next one down. When it's gone, we're going to get the next one down. That is the fastest way to get out of debt, and we can add to that. I would not wait on Washington to fix your problems. There's a lot of promises in the air that Biden is going to forgive all your student loans. He might. He has control of both Congresses. It's logistically, legally possible for him to get that through, but it'll be a while. Mm-hmm. And while you wait around on one foot and then on the other for the blessings to flow from D.C., you will learn the lesson that blessings don't come from D.C.
They come from grit and hard work and ownership.
Yeah. If you think $1,400 changed your life, you didn't have a life.
Man.
And you never will if you think that that's going to do it. Please don't sit around and wait on these guys to make your life good. This is the Dave Ramsey Show. What makes our show unique is that we genuinely care about our listeners. We're intentional about choosing the best advertisers to recommend. Blinds.com is no exception. They offer high-quality window treatments at unbelievable prices. And they make it simple to shop blinds, shades, and interior shutters with easy online ordering, free shipping, and a guaranteed perfect fit. Go to Blinds.com and take advantage of this week's special savings. In the lobby of Ramsey Solutions on the debt-free stage, Michael and Tasha are with us. Hey, guys, how are you?
Good,
hey,
how
Dave,
are you?
good. How are you?
Welcome, welcome. Where do you guys live?
From Indianapolis, Indiana.
Well, welcome to Nashville. Thanks for joining us in person.
Thank you.
Very cool. Congratulations. How much debt have you guys paid off?
It's about $108,500 in about 36 months.
Way to go. And your range of income during that time?
For context of the story, right before we were $105,000 to zero for a couple months. And when we started, we ended up back at $125,000.
Cool. What do y'all do for a living?
I'm a truck driver.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in healthcare.
Okay, cool. So what kind of debt was this?
All of it, everything.
You were normal.
We didn't finance a dog or a cat, but we financed everything else.
So cars, student loans, credit cards,
yes.
IRS.
No.
No IRS.
No
okay.
IRS.
Good. Yeah, everything else though. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good. Wow, fun. How long you guys been married?
Going on 13 years this year.
Yeah.
Okay. So 3 years ago the story began, and it sounds like it's a wild ride. What happened?
Well, we first heard about you in 2013, and we got very intentional for about 6 months. We ended up moving with our job and then just went right back to what we were doing the old way, the normal way, until 2017.
And in 2017, we decided to make a career transition, and that's where the $0 income comes for a couple months. And then that was kind of the point we hit that said, we've got to come back to something. And we actually were living in our RV at the time, and I was digging through some paperwork to find some things and found your book, Total Money Makeover. And we kind of had a talk that night when she came home and decided we've got to submit. It's time. And so we cut the credit cards up and hit the plan.
Wow.
Yep.
Well, way to go, you guys.
Thanks.
Congratulations.
There's nothing like sitting in an RV thumbing through paperwork with no jobs going, this prize, and we should probably do something else.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and we couldn't take that much with us in the RV, so it was crazy that out of the things, that book was with us the whole time. So we knew what we should be doing. We just didn't do it.
Wow. Yeah, and it comes out, kind of jumps out at you and yells at you. Yeah. Oh, my gosh. So you sat down that night, said things have got to change, put together the budget, get the jobs, get going, and game on.
Yep.
Absolutely. We decided, we were actually in Florida at the time. We decided we'd put in for some jobs in Florida and back home in Indianapolis and go with what came first.
Which was Indianapolis. That's how you end up back there. Okay.
Absolutely.
That's home originally.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
So we both ended up with jobs back there, and that's where we went.
Good. Wow. And you're killing it. I mean, you're doing good. 125. That's a great income.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well,
What was the state of your marriage? Take me back to that RV. Things are great. Y'all on the same page?
Yeah, I think so. I think the whole time, pretty much, we were on the same page.
The normal, I mean, we had the normal, couple disagreements, things like that.
So fast forward 3 years, y'all have crushed this plan. You've got new jobs. You've got new dignity underneath you. How's your marriage now?
It's better.
Yeah.
Even better.
Yeah, it's just calm. Yeah, all the time.
It's when you think about it at that point, you think about the fights, the disagreements, which I think everybody has, but at that point, it was everything led back to money. Even the conversation about where we're going to eat dinner tonight.
And how we're going to pay for it.
And today it's, okay, where we're going to eat dinner tonight, and there's no second guess. We just go eat dinner.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah. So no money question, just a dinner
it's
question.
What kind of food do we want?
Yeah.
I like it. Well done, you guys. So what is the key to getting out of it at $109,000 in 36 months? What's the big thing you realized that you got to do?
You have to say no. We didn't go out. We didn't take vacations. We didn't do brunch. We did nothing. Everyone around us, for probably the first year, kept inviting us and then realized there was no point. So everyone left us alone. Yeah. And we took turns talking each other off of the ledge. So that was good.
Yeah, that's real strong. That's a big deal. Well done. How's it feel now?
Great.
Yeah, feels absolutely great.
3 years of sacrifice. Was it worth it?
Yeah.
It was well worth it.
How'd you drag your little one along?
Oh, he helped lead a lot, really. Like, he was cutting the links off of we had a chain hanging up, so he was the link cutter. He would overhear our conversations, and he would chime in and say, I don't know if that's what Dave would tell you to do.
Whoa! Jiminy Cricket in there.
Yeah, he listens to the show.
So he's got this wired into him now.
He does.
For sure.
So you've changed your family tree for real.
Yes, we have one other son also, but he's 20 and he's at work, so he could not make the trip. So he was with us the whole time as well.
Wow. Good for you guys. That's fun. Congratulations. So outside the two of you and your son, who are your biggest cheerleaders?
Our family, friends. I work with an awesome group of women. As soon as we came back to Indiana, they locked in and they were cheering us on big time. So
that's cool.
That was awesome, yeah.
Very cool. Way to go, you guys.
I'm so proud of y'all. That's so cool.
Yes,
Thank
amen.
We appreciate
Amen.
it.
Well done. So what's your son's name and age? Let's bring him into the debt-free scream.
This is Chase. He'll be 11 this weekend, actually.
All right. Happy
Attaboy,
birthday, Chase. Well done. Good stuff. Well, we've got a copy of Chris Hogan's book for you, Everyday Millionaires. That for sure is the next chapter in your story. You guys have done so well. So proud of you. Congratulations. Good stuff. Michael and Tasha and Chase, Indianapolis, Indiana, $109,000 paid off in 36 months, making 105-0 to now 125. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1.
We're debt-free! Yeah! this is how it's done. Well done, you guys. Very, very, very well done. Folks, let's get real for just a second. Some of you are getting close to your baby step 4, and you're freaking out because you know you need to save 15% of your income for retirement, but you do not know how to start investing. It's scary. It's okay to have a ton of questions. It's okay to be scared about something you've never done before. Starting to invest is tricky. The trick is to work with an investing professional like a SmartVestor Pro that has the heart of a teacher. And they can answer all those questions in plain English. They don't sound like Charlie Brown's teacher. Wah, 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 wah. You ever talk to somebody that just has to hear themselves talk? No, these guys are going to help you understand. Because when it comes to investing, you need to know what you're investing in. And when you sit down and work with a SmartVestor Pro who knows what the flip they're doing, they're going to help make investing easy to understand. The heart of a teacher. Don't sit around and freak out. Do something about it. Text INVEST to 33789. That's INVEST to 33789, and you can start building wealth today. Of course, you can always click SmartVestor Pro at DaveRamsey.com as well. You enter your stuff. It drops down a list of the guys and gals in your area. You pick the one that you want to sit down and talk to.
And I always like to mention this, Dave. I just had that conversation right before the new year with the SmartVestor Pro. They put some things together for me as a teacher in a way that even sitting next to you for a year, that I was able to grasp it a little bit better, and they walked me through some things. This is my money in my house with my family and my legacy. That's where I turned, and it was the most clarifying conversation around it I've ever had.
Yeah.
It was good.
And, you know, there's just power in that.
Yeah.
Because if you don't know how to do something, standing next to somebody that knows how to do it to show you is the best way to learn it. Not having someone do it for you.
That's exactly right.
When you have someone do it for you, you didn't learn anything. You still keep all the worry.
And I actually said, hey, just do it like, and he said, nope. I need you to look at this, and so you can understand what what the implications of what you're saying are. I had to walk through it, man, and that's what a teacher does.
I love it. Nope, not doing it for you. I'm going to show you how you are going to do it.
Right.
This is the Dave Ramsey Show. Scripture of the day, 1 John 5:14, and this is the confidence that we have toward him, that if we ask anything according to his will, he hears us. Dale Carnegie said, develop success from failures. Discouragement and failure are two of the surest stepping stones to success. Tim is with us in Tacoma, Washington. Hi, Tim. Welcome to the Dave Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave. How's it going?
Better than I deserve. How can we help?
Okay, so pretty simple question, but looking for some guidance. My wife and I have recently gotten to a good place where we have only the mortgage and a famous cash loan for $4,000. We have about $3,400 surplus in our budget per month after everything is paid. We're looking towards early retirement or retiring as early as possible. So I'm curious to see if it would be best to take that $3,400 and invest, or to pay off the loan, which then we can use the house as a rental unit. And for our area, it would rent for about $2,500 a month.
Okay. I'm sorry. You said there was two loans, a home loan and a small other loan?
Yes, it's $4,000, same as cash. We got a new mattress recently.
Oh, crap. Okay. And you don't have any money in savings?
I do, yes. I have $40,000 cash in savings. I have $30,000 in like cryptocurrency stuff, which I know tomorrow could be worth bagel. But for now, it's about $30,000.
Okay, and what is the mortgage balance?
It is 190,500.
Mm-hmm.
190,500.
Okay. And what's your household income?
So our gross per month, or our net per month, is about 7,300. Our expenses work out to be about 34 or so.
Okay. All right. Well, I've been leading people out of debt and into wealth for 30 years. And and the process that we use is conservative in nature, meaning that I don't take a lot of risks. I'm not big on risk. And I like to. I don't. I mean, I take more risks than some people, but some people don't take any. But I don't put things at risk. And so, being debt free is a matter not only of being secure, but it's also a matter. It puts me in a place where I'm secure. But not only that, it gives me all that money that I was paying to the bank to build wealth with and to be generous with. And so that's the basis for everything that we teach and have taught literally millions and millions of people. Okay, and I tell you all that to say, then in light of that, the way we answer questions here on this show, and you're new to us, is to say, what would I do knowing what I know if I woke up in your shoes? What's the shortest distance between where you are and stable and a stable, wealthy position? Okay, now if that was me, I would write a check today and pay off the stupid mattress, and I would never again borrow money on something like that under any circumstances. I'd cash out the Bitcoin by close of business today before it's worth bagel, and I, that's uber high risk at best, crazy at worst, but it's uber high risk. Bitcoin people don't think it is, but it is. Anytime you're playing a currency of any kind, you're at the whim of the other traders of that currency. It's the only thing that drives the price. If you're trading yen, you're trading pesos, you're trading dollars, you're trading euros, you're trading whatever it is. A currency is based on what other currency traders are willing to lean in against it, and that's all it's worth. It doesn't have any intrinsic value. So same thing with gold even. It's a supply and demand curve is what drives the price model. So it's just too high risk for me. I'm not taking that much risk. It's rolling the dice. So I'm out of there. And I'm going to set aside some of the $40,000 for my emergency fund at 3 to 6 months of expenses. And then from there, I'm going to go to what we call baby step 4, because you're out of debt and you have your emergency fund. That's 1, 2, and 3. And I'm going to start putting 15% of your income aside towards retirement. Baby step 5 is to start addressing your kids' college. And baby step 6 is all the money above your emergency fund. The 15% is going to come out of your budget. Everything above your emergency fund that you have, I'm going to start throwing towards this house to get the house paid off as soon as possible. Of the 10,000 millionaires that we studied in the largest study of millionaires ever done in North America for Chris Hogan's book, Everyday Millionaires, we found 2 major components of their wealth: a paid-for home and a stacked retirement plan. If you have a net worth of $1 million to $5 million, most of the time, roughly 1/3 is in your paid-for home and roughly 2/3 is in your 401k. Those are actual researched data points of real millionaires. This is not theory. And so if you want to go at it at a different angle, you're not going at it the way that
it actually happens in
that
the real
millionaires
world.
did it.
Right.
And it's important to say, best practices. We're going to find the ways that the most people do the successful thing, and we're going to emulate that.
And it's easy to, be smart and to have what you think is a good plan, and you flip over a napkin and do the math, this at this percent and this at this percent, we can keep this. And you can make that work out in your head. But when you ask the people who actually do it, they say, man, I don't owe anybody anything. And I have money that I've invested
steadily
over
time. They weren't trying to get rich quick.
Over time.
They weren't going, Bitcoin's going to double in 90 days, and so I'm going to get rich quick.
And as a mental health guy, what I can tell you is if I'm relying on everyone else to make wise, good decisions over the next however long, Dave, everybody's gone mad. So I'm not doing that. Not doing that, man.
Well, there's that. All right, Deborah's with us in New York. Hi, Deborah. Welcome to the Dave Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave. How are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
Okay. I have an issue with a security system, home security system in my home. And I wanted to get your advice on how can I get out of the contract. I was told that I qualify to get out of the contract, but every time I speak to someone, I'm getting a runaround.
Well, the business that the space that you're dealing with is a fairly dirty space. There are some good players in the home security business, and there's a whole bunch of stinkers. Sound like you got a stinker. Now, did you finance the actual equipment as well into the deal?
Yeah.
So that's going to be your problem getting out of the contract, because you actually signed a finance contract on the actual equipment, and the monitoring is just part of the picture.
Yeah, but they have a 6-month guarantee money back, and it hasn't been 6 months yet. But they said if you're totally not satisfied, we'll give you money back. And
then call them every day, and if that doesn't work, start calling them 3 times a day.
And record the calls. Make sure you've got information on your side.
Yeah. In other words, just bug the holy crap out of them.
Okay.
That's really all you're good, because you're just trying to get people that don't want to honor their money-back guarantee to honor it.
And you're going to be talking to somebody on the phone who probably
I want to talk to your boss. I want to talk to your boss. I want to talk to your boss. I need to talk to your supervisor. I need to talk to your supervisor. You can't make the decision today. I need to get this wrapped up. I've talked to you people 63,000 times, and I'm going to call 4 times tomorrow. So I need to talk to your supervisor. I know you can't make the decision, darling. Please put your supervisor on.
And keep a spreadsheet, send emails too, so all those are time-stamped, and let everybody know if this is the 34th time, this is the 39th time, this is the 107th time I've called.
Yeah, last time I talked to Bob. The time before that I talked to George, and then Willie. Are any of them still there?
Willie quit, man.
They all quit because they have to take our calls from people like her all day long in that scenario. So that's the only thing I know to do. You can hire an attorney if you want. Might cost you more than the whole package. And but just make a hobby out of them. Just mess with them, and it's the squeaky wheel does get oiled. I mean, you just bother the crud out of them. Eventually, they will relent.
And all you're asking them to do is uphold the contract that they agree to, right?
Yeah, just keep your word. That's all we're asking. Just keep your word. Hard to get people to do that, though, in today's world. That's for sure. All right, that puts this hour of the Dave Ramsey Show in the books. Thank you, John.
Thank you, man.
Dr. John Deloney, James Childs, and Zach Bennett in the booth filling in for Kelly today. I am Dave Ramsey, your host. We'll be back with you before you know it. In the meantime, remember, there's ultimately only one way to financial peace, and that's to walk daily with the Prince of Peace, Christ Jesus.